Hey, what's up, everybody? Video 44 coming at you with another video. All right, happy 4th to everybody who's celebrating it. Lord knows they're celebrating it outside my window here, getting a chance to see fireworks and all that. But I want to talk about the Lakers. Of course, we got the Summer League game tomorrow. I believe it's at 1:30, but you might want to check just in case. I don't have the numbers in front of me, but I think they said 1:30. I got my alarm set. I'll be watching that while I'm doing my thing tomorrow. But, I think what came to mind was just listening to some of the stuff that's being said, the rumors and stuff like that floating around. I wanted to just chime in on those. Cleveland Cavaliers have essentially said that they're willing to keep a roster spot open for Bronny James and would be willing to trade for Bronny James. And, of course, the event that LeBron would choose them. Of course, he's making his decision right now and probably will know somewhere next week, probably the end of the week or something like that. They got to drag this thing out like they always do. It's just part of the game, but I'm sure LeBron has his mind made up on where he wants to go at this point. I believe he does. I think it's probably Cleveland. I don't think these rumors even come out if Cleveland didn't have some notion that he was choosing them. At the end of the day, I start thinking about, is he championship chasing? Yeah. Does he want to maximize, in theory, the opportunity to win a championship? Yeah. But is he going back to some new place that he's never been, some unceremonious space? That's not how LeBron gets down. It's all about the theatrics. It's all about the decisions and stuff like that, and the storyline and the legacy. And I think at this point, it's become clear to me that he's probably going back to Cleveland. And Cleveland has a good enough team to where he can compete in the East. I think they'll be a very good team, depending on what they have to lose to get him in a sign and trade. And the reason why it's even worded that way is because I'm hearing people online say that, the Lakers could potentially drive a hard bargain for Bronny James if they think that Cleveland would be desperate enough to want Bronny and see Bronny as a means of securing LeBron's commitment. They maybe will overpay for Bronny. I'm very skeptical of that scenario. I actually don't think they would. But if you're the Lakers, it might be in your best interest, given the fact what your situation is with picks and stuff like that, to try to drive a hard bargain. If to try to use that as leverage to try to get a little more than maybe what Bronny's worth, or a lot more than what Bronny's worth. But I don't know how inclined the Lakers are to really push that line, so to speak. I don't really know. But I was listening to As It Stands talk about it. He said he wants him. He sees an opportunity for Bronny James in exchange for Jalen Tyson. I think there's zero chance that the Cleveland Cavaliers do that. But doesn't mean that I wouldn't welcome it. Jalen Tyson is one of my favorite young players from that draft that year. I wanted us to draft Jalen Tyson. So for me, if we could somehow get the Cleveland Cavaliers to do something stupid like that, that would be amazing. But if I'm in the Cleveland Cavaliers front office, I'm giving you the finger and I'm hanging up the phone. And if you start talking about Bronny James for Jalen Tyson, that's not even reasonable. But like I said, doesn't mean I won't want it. I would hold out hope that the Lakers could find a way to leverage themselves into that position, and that Cleveland would feel inclined to do something crazy like that to provide LeBron James an opportunity to continue playing with his son. Because it may be the deal breaker. It may be a deal breaker. It may be a situation where, another team starts a bidding war for Bronny James and some crazy conversation about if we land Bronny, we automatically get Bron. So if I'm the Lakers, it might be in my best interest to start saying, looking at the teams that LeBron wants to go to, seeing as how they left some footage out there from Max Kellerman and Rich Paul's podcast, stating that, they had a little whiteboard up there talking about all the teams that LeBron would want to go to. If I'm the Lakers, I'm communicating with all those teams, say, listen, maybe if you trade for Bronny now, you can secure LeBron will choose you, or it can be within your best position to then use Bronny as a trade piece for the team that does land him. Let's say I'm the Nuggets. I trade for Bronny now. I bring him here. And LeBron says, well, I want to play with the Philadelphia 76ers. Now the Nuggets, can trade Bronny to the Philadelphia 76ers for some absorbing them out. Puts them in the same position the Lakers in right now, to where we could use Bronny as a There's a leverage piece to gain a little more than what he's worth, or a lot more than what he's worth. Strategy, you know what I mean? Now, I don't know if people gonna want to step on Clutch's toes. You do stuff like that, you're gonna make an enemy out of Rich Paul. It may hurt you more so in the long run. But I mean, if I'm the Lakers at this point, this is something to think about. I don't know if it's in my best interest to do that or not, but it's certainly a move you can make. You can trade Bronny right now to one of them contenders that are going for Bron. Send him to San Antonio right now. You know what I mean? That kind of thing, and try to maximize his potential value that way. See, this is why I don't think people would want me in front office, is because I'd be thinking like this. But I also think that Bronny James is a nice prospect that is much better than people think. And if his name was Bronny King, you look at him as the 55th pick overall in that previous 2 drafts ago, he has really developed into a nice piece that has far outplayed his value there. And when you consider his name is Bronny James, there's also a cult following factor that I think the Lakers should work into the equation as well. If we have Bronny on our team, people be calling for Bronny to come into games everywhere we go. That's still star power that you can capitalize. That's still some equity that can be capitalized on just off the sheer hype that he still harbors. So I would work that into the equation. And considering the Cleveland Cavaliers will sell Bronny jerseys if they land him, I don't know that I'm giving him away for value. I may want to work that value into the equation when considering shopping the kid. So that's why it's like, as I talk myself into thinking that maybe we can get 2 second-round picks, or a high-level second-round pick, or even a player. At this point, it's like, if they try to offer me Tyrese Proctor, with all due respect to young Tyrese Proctor, I don't think the value of Bronny James is Tyrese Proctor. Now, Tyrese Proctor and him may be on par with the same prospect-type talent, but Tyrese Proctor ain't getting his name called in fourth quarters everywhere he go around the league. You know what I'm saying? He ain't selling no jerseys. And so when you consider that, coupled with the potential desperation teams that may want to land LeBron James and see Bronny as a means of securing that, you may be able to talk up the value to some astronomical Jalen Tyson-like value. I don't think you're going to get the Cleveland Cavaliers to give you Jalen Tyson, but I can certainly make the argument that you can draw the hard line that they had better, or you ain't going to give them Bronny James. And if I'm in the Lakers locker room, if I'm in the Lakers organization, I have this as a move that I can make. How wise it is to make this move, I don't know. That's not what I'm arguing. I'm just saying, if you want to make a move, here's one, and it might be a good one for a team like us who just gave away all our draft picks for Walker Kessler. If you could turn Walker Kessler if you could turn Bronny James into Jalen Tyson, or if you can turn Bronny James into a first-round pick, which, again, long shot, but I can argue it's worth a shot, making that happen, rather than taking back a second-rounder and just handing them Bronny James, which secures them LeBron James. I don't think you should just let Bronny go at cost for like 1 second-round pick. I think that if you do that, you're leaving a lot of value on the board, and you're not taking into account the desperation of the team that wants LeBron James. You know what I mean? So that's really what it comes down to. I would be toying around with this idea if I'm in the Lakers front office. I would be running this past all the bosses, and Walter, I would be talking to him about this if I were in that Lakers office. Like, look, this is something to really consider. You may be able to do something with this. So, yeah. Hopefully, I think put it like this. Savvy GMs like Danny Ainge and them folks over there in OKC, they're gonna do this. This is what smart GMs are gonna do. They're gonna weigh the options, weigh the risk, and consider this move as something that maybe is beneficial in the situation. Because at the end of the day, whoever has Bronny potentially gets LeBron, and that's worth a lot to some people. So that's really what I wanted to say, man. I'm sure these fireworks are gonna make it so that you don't really hear what I have to say anymore, but that is really what I wanted to bring to the table. BDO 44, happy Independence Day, everybody. Peace.